Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the 8 steps that you should take so you can successfully publish a book in Kindle Amazon. So let's get started with this video. Hi there, this is Jordan Alexo coming from Portugal. And today I know it's quite a hard day for me to make a video because it's either getting way too dark or way too light because it's a rainy day. So I'm kind of having a hard time today. So if my video, or at least my camera, gets a bit darker, then you know what it is. But still, I wanted to make this video so I could provide you some great, amazing tips related to Kindle Publishing. And if you still haven't liked this video, go right below, click on that thumbs up, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can receive my weekly video updates where I share with you plenty of videos related to Kindle Publishing and several ways for you to make money online. So let's get started. Let's get hot with this video. Oh yeah, it's going to get hot. Anyway, I decided to make this video because I know that when you are starting out, you probably have a hard time basically following all of the steps for you to publish your book. It may be quite confusing. So I decided to make this video explaining the 8 steps that every single time I decide to publish a book inside of Amazon, these are the steps that I take. So the first step, let's talk about the first step, which is the most important one, is simply doing keyword research. This is the most important process. It's the most time-consuming process. It is a process that, at least I don't know anyone who is able to outsource this process to someone else to do it for them. This is the process that you need to take. It's the one that you really can't escape, because all of the rest you can pretty much escape. I mean, you can pretty much outsource the reviews for your books, the covers, the content, but this part is the one that you really need to take and do. And I would say that this is one of those most time-consuming processes. When you are starting out, don't worry if you take at least a week or 2 weeks or even more for you to be able to find a good listing of keywords, because it is a time-consuming process. I too take that amount of time. Even nowadays, sometimes I simply spend a whole week just searching for keywords. So don't worry if you're starting out and this is a very time-consuming process. It will be. Anyway, if you want to learn more about keyword research, I'm not going to talk about that in this video, but you can go right below on top on the left or right side of the screen. Click on that eye that you can see over there, that eye, so you can watch my video where I talk about this. So this is the first part. It is the one that is the most time consuming. I recommend for you to spend some time doing this, and until you have a good listing of keywords, you should at least have 5 or 10 profitable keywords before you even start publishing your books. This is the amount of keywords that you should already have in place so you can start publishing books under those keywords. I recommend for you to have keywords all in the same niche. What do I mean about this? Well, what I mean about this is, for example, let's say that you want to publish books inside of the diet niche. This is a huge niche. It is a very profitable niche, but also a very competitive niche. Now, that doesn't mean that you should publish like a book, paleo, let's say paleo book, then another called Paleo for Beginners, or another book that is Paleo for kids or whatever. I'm not saying that you should basically go like this when it comes to publishing your books. When it comes to the diet niche, it is quite vast. And what you can do is, for example, publish a book on the paleo diet, see it whether or not if that is a book that will make money for you. If you see that book is making money under paleo, then you can actually publish even more books under the paleo keyword. And then you can go to other diets, such as the South Beach diet, the keto or the keto diet. There are plenty of diets, but as you can see, these are all under a single niche. The diet niche, the weight loss niche, this is all under a specific niche. Now, the way that Amazon works is Amazon works by, what I've noticed is you have a single author name, and on that author name you can have all of the books that you publish with that author name inside of a single niche. What happens is the more books that you publish in a single niche using the same author name, the easier it becomes for you to rank your books, the next books that you publish, because your author name basically starts gaining authority inside of Amazon. And once Amazon starts seeing that a particular author name has books that sell well inside of Amazon, they start helping that author with its next books and so on inside of Amazon. So this is the reason why you should publish books under the same niche using one single author name. So this is what I recommend for you to do. So this is step number one. The second step is simply ordering your book. Now let's talk about ordering your book. The company that I use is eWriter Solutions. This is the company that I use. I will leave a link right below in the description from this video so you can check out this company. I recommend for you to check them out. I like the content that they produce. It can be pretty good I noticed that they produce good work if you give them exact details of the book that you want them to write. If you are sloppy and you basically provide a guideline where it's kind of, look, just do a book related to paleo, something like that, and you don't provide detailed information about what you want, then that's basically what you will get. You will get a book that is way too general in terms of content, and I noticed that they don't really pay much attention when it comes to that in producing the best quality content. That is my experience. Once you are more strict in exactly what you want, you provide the details that you want for your book, I noticed that this company works far better. So eWriter Solutions is the company that I recommend. Normally they take about 10 to 15 days, so this is the second step. They will take about 10 to 15 days to get your book done. It might take a bit longer depending on the length of the book, of course. The book normally will cost about $180 for, if I'm not wrong, for 12,000 words, something like that. And it can cost even more depending on the length of their book. It can be even $250 depending on the length. At the moment, I produce books with a minimal of 15,000 words. But once you are starting out and you still don't know what exactly you are doing, I always recommend for you to try to make the first books as cheap as possible, because you certainly will do mistakes. You may publish a book under a keyword that may seem initially profitable, but it's just way too competitive for you. So you don't rank your book well inside of Amazon and you don't do money. And at least by cutting some costs, you don't waste so much money and you have more money for other books later on. The number of books that you get initially, I know that a lot of people usually tell you to at least get 3 books when you're starting out. I personally don't recommend that. I don't recommend for you to do that. It might be a good thing for you to produce immediately 3-4 books once you know exactly what you are doing. But the fact is, even if you take the course that I recommend, which is Self-Publishing Blueprint, once again, this is a non-fiction course. It's one of the best courses out there. I recommend for you to check it out. I will leave a link right below in the description from this video. And don't forget, if you get this course from me, I will send a bonus to your email address. Just send me an email to jordan@jordanalexo.com, and I will send the free promo, the free bonus, which includes templates for the author page of your books, for the description of your books, so you can better sell them inside of Amazon, and a lot more. Anyway, I don't recommend for you to immediately go for 3 books. I know that this is something that people often recommend out there. But the fact is, when you are starting out, even if you take a course, you will still do mistakes. That is just a fact. And if you get 3 books, and let's say that you get the wrong keywords which often happens initially. What happens is you waste quite some money. And the way that I went with my Kindle publishing business, nowadays I'm publishing at least 4 or 5 books each month. But the way that I went with my Kindle publishing business, because initially I didn't have much money to invest, I started by publishing one book at a time. So I published one book at a time, and I saw the results that I would get with that book. I saw, for example, well, this book, it doesn't seem to be working that well because probably the content inside of this book is just way too general, and people are looking for more specific content inside of that particular keyword. Or I noticed that, for example, the content simply wasn't that good enough. Or I could probably have done a better description for my book. I probably could have just analyzed the market and saw better what my clients wanted before I actually order my book. So these are things that I've noticed along the time, but I started just by publishing one book at a time and just stopping for a few, it could be for a week or so, just really analyzing the results that I was getting with that single book. And that is how I actually improved. I saw that, for example, the title wasn't working well. I saw that people wanted more specific content. And I saw all of that by publishing one book at a time without wasting that a huge amount of money. And by getting the results, seeing where I was failing, I kept improving my books. I kept improving my content, the description of my books, the content inside of my books, everything, until I basically I basically got a point where I realized that I kind of cracked the code of publishing books inside of Amazon. And once I got to that point, that is when I started publishing more and more books every single month. So I know that a lot of people tell you to immediately get 3 books. I personally don't recommend for you to do that, only if you have a good budget for you to be able to do that. But if you don't have a huge budget, then start by publishing one book at a time. See your results, analyze your results from the keywords that you use for that book, from everything. See where you went wrong and see where you can improve. Once you analyze all of that information, then publish another book. And once you get to a point where you realize that something is just selling really well inside of Amazon, that is where you put the money. That is where when you start really going out there and ordering 3, 4, 5 books or even more each month. But it's when you actually get to a point where you see that you improve your content to a point that it's selling really well inside of Amazon. You already got to a point where you can see whether a keyword is good or not. Once you reach that point, that is when you start putting all of your money inside of Amazon and ordering more books and so on. So this is what I recommend for you to do. So this is point number 2. Ordering your books. So you go to your writer, you order your book over there. And the other thing is also getting a cover done. So you should get a cover done. This you can use if you are really good when it comes to using Photoshop and so on. You can use Photoshop for your covers, or you can either go to Fiverr and get a gig over there, someone to actually make a cover for you. Now, when it comes to getting a gig inside of Fiverr, I mean, you're paying $5, so you can't expect that everyone over there will deliver a great job. But what I recommend for you to do is to order, for example, 2-3 gigs from different people, see which cover is the best one, and use that for your book. Because the cover is one of the most important aspects when it comes to selling your book well. Okay, let's go to point number 3. It's basically hiring a VA. Okay, so now you already ordered your book. You're waiting for you to be able to receive your book. And you should go out there and hire a VA, because this is something that may take a while until you are able to find someone who is decent. For this, you can either go to Upwork for this if you want, or if you actually got the course that I mentioned, you can actually go to the Facebook group belonging to Self-Publishing Blueprint and see if someone over there is suggesting a good VA. That is the way that I actually go about this nowadays. But I started by going to Upwork. And this is a process that I recommend for you to do while you're waiting for your books, because this is something that may take like 3-5 days until you find someone that you would like to hire. When it comes to, for each review, I pay about $1.05 for each review. You can get it for a bit less, and you can get for a bit more, but I don't recommend for you to pay anyone $2 for reviews, especially nowadays. What happens is, let's say that you get 40 reviews for your book, and after a month or a month and a half, you have half of those reviews on your book. So I don't recommend for you to waste $2 for each review. Try always to find someone who you can hire for $1 and $5 for each review, or a bit more, and so on. So that is point number 3, hiring a VA. Point number 4, publish a book on KDP. Once you get your book, publish your book on KDP and also on the paperback format, because nowadays everything is together inside of the Kindle platform. I recommend for you to immediately publish your KDP version, your virtual format, inside of your account, and also your paperback at the same time, because you want to launch both formats inside of Amazon at the same time, because the paperback format is where you will be able to do most of your money. I mean, I would say that with my books nowadays, the paperback format does about 3 times the amount of money that I do with my virtual format of the same book. Okay, so that is where you will be able to do most of your money. And at the same time, once you publish your book inside of those 2 formats, you should immediately go to ACX. Don't waste time, immediately go to ACX, because when it comes to getting your audiobook, this is something that may take at least a month until you have your audiobook available inside of Amazon. So immediately go to ACX in the same day, go to ACX, put your book over there, see if you can get someone to narrate your book. Now, when it comes to this, there are 2 ways for you to go about this. If you don't have much money to pay someone, what you can do is split in half the earnings of your audiobooks. Okay, this is something that you can initially start if you don't have a huge budget. You get a narrator and you basically split half the earnings that you do with your audiobook. So this is what you can do. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is, this is basically point number 5. Simply go to ACX, publish your book over there, get someone to narrate your book. If you don't have much money, split in half with the narrator, so you can earn a small percentage of the money each time that you sell your audiobook. The other case that you want to split in half, even if you have money at that point, is if you are getting an audiobook for a book that is just not very profitable when it comes to your audiobook format. For example, cookbooks. That is an excellent example. I mean, most people simply won't purchase an audiobook when it comes to a cookbook. So in that case, you want to split in half. Now, once you have money, you want to pay upfront. You want to pay upfront, because that way you will earn far more money with your audiobooks. Once you have money, just pay your narrator upfront. Get that immediately resolved. Pay what you need to pay upfront, so you can receive all of your earnings when it comes to selling your audiobooks. And you want to do this when you know that your audiobooks will be profitable. For example, you publish a book inside of the self-help niche or something like that. Normally, the audiobook format for those books are simply profitable, and in that case, it's better for you to pay your narrator immediately upfront. So this is point number 5. Point number 6 is once you already publish your book in all the 3 formats, you want to get reviews for your book. So the first process is once you publish your book inside of the Kindle format, you want to set your book at the pricing of $0.99. This is the pricing that you should set your Kindle book initially. When it comes to your paperback, you should have set the paperback at least at $12 or even more, okay? At least $12 or more for your paperback book, okay? So this is what you want to do. And what you should tell your VA to do is you should tell your VA to get at least 20 to 25 paid reviews, okay? You should get at least 20 to 25 paid reviews. Nowadays, I get the minimum of 25 paid reviews. I noticed that 25 paid reviews simply seem to better rank my books inside of Amazon. So I get at least 25 paid reviews for my book at $0.99. So this is the 6th step. The 7th step is after the seventh step is after you set your book and you got your reviews in the paid, you got your paid reviews. I mean, this should take about 3 to 5 days for you to get your paid reviews. You should tell your VA to immediately notify you once he has already completed his job when it comes to getting the paid reviews. He should immediately notify you, and once he does, you should set your 5-day free promotion, which is the 7th step of publishing your book. So you immediately set the 5-day free promotion, and the idea is you want to do this review process as fast as possible, okay? Because what you want to do is simply set your book at the standard pricing so you can start doing some good money with your book. So you should do this process as fast as possible. So tell your VA, has already said, you should tell your VA to notify you as soon as possible once he has done his paid reviews. Then you set the free promotion for 5 days. And during the free promotion, what you should do is once you have your book in the free promotion, set the pricing of your book at $9.99. The reason why you should do this is once someone goes to your book, they see that it's in the free promotion, but also they see the pricing that it would be regularly if it wasn't in the free promotion at $9.99, and they shade your book, they see the pricing and they think that it must be an amazing book for it to be at that pricing. And there you will notice that there will be more people getting your book in the free promotion, even though I don't consider that the free promotion is very useful nowadays, and possibly in the near future I will simply stop doing it. But this is something this is just a little trick that you can do so you can get more free promotions. Just set the free promotion in your book at $9.99, and you will notice that people will consider your book more valuable, and you will get more free promotion downloads. So during the free promotion, you should tell your VA to get all of the rest of the reviews that you want for your book. The number of reviews that you should get for your book really depends on the number of reviews that your competition has. For example, if you publish a book under a keyword where you notice that most of your competitors have like 40, 50 reviews, then that's exactly the amount of reviews that you should get for your book, about 40, 50 reviews. If you notice that they have less, then probably you won't need so many reviews. If you notice that your competition has about 30 reviews, each one of them, then you could get, for example, 40 reviews. Your book has a bit more reviews, and that will help your book sell better inside of Amazon. Now let's go to the last step. Once you pass the whole process, the 8th step is simply using the Amazon marketing services or Amazon advertisement services that they have to further promote your book. So this is after the free promotion. Once you are in your last day of free promotion, what you do is you go to AMS, to the advertisement belonging to Amazon, and you set the campaign to start in the next day once your book goes to the standard pricing. At the same time, you set a campaign to start the next day. And what you want to do, because what happens is it often takes, sometimes it takes a couple of hours for Amazon to change the pricing of your book. Once you set this campaign inside of AMS, you go back to your book and you set your book at $2.99, which will be the standard pricing for your book. So you do both things in the last step. You want to use Amazon advertisements so you can better sell your book. I recommend for you to use this service that they have. There's really no reason for you to not use it nowadays, because it simply will help your book sell far better. You will get more sales. Of course, you will need to spend some money because you need to pay each time that someone clicks on your advertisement. But I mean, the return of your investment will be just far more than you actually spend in promoting your book using Amazon. Okay, that was a huge video. I'm tired of talking. I feel my throat kind of hurting at the moment. And that is all for this video. If you still haven't liked this video, you should go right below. Click on that like button. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also check the video course that I mentioned called Self-Publishing Blueprint. You got a link right below in the description from this video. That is all for this video. Stay tuned with Jordan Alexo, and bye.